Welcome back to the show. Congressman Pat Fallon from House Armed Services and Dr. Rebecca Grant, a national security analyst who specializes in defense and aerospace and has frequently worked with the U.S. Air Force. Good to see you both. Congressman, what exactly are they shooting at? I mean, NORAD, as Senator Marco Rubio says, has not done any shoot downs like this so frequently in its 65-year existence. What are they shooting at?
Well, Liz, it always troubles me when members of Congress inquire as to what's going on, and we just don't hear anything back. And then we hear this defense secretary say he has more questions than answers. He's the one that's supposed to have the answers. So we got a classified briefing last week on the first spy balloon, and obviously can't go into the details there, but I can go into this. We should have shot the thing down over the Pacific Ocean. And then when it hit Montana, that was the perfect place to take it down. And Joe Biden used nothing but excuses and projected weakness.
It wouldn't have hit anybody in Montana. I mean, right, Dr. Grant? I mean, now we're shooting it over the Great Lakes and over Alaska and Canada. I mean, to the Congressman's point, Dr. Grant, the White House said it could not shoot down the first balloon, but now it's shooting at everything. What do you think?
The White House decided not to shoot down the first one, and that was a mistake. It should have been shot down over Alaska or at least over Montana, because that balloon did scoop up sensitive electronic signals information and transmit it back to China, probably via a satellite link. It was a big violation of U.S. airspace, and it may have paved the way for these other three objects as well. The whole thing tells me we need a big overhaul of North American air defenses. Let's give General Van Herk what he needs to improve and do better with this mission.
Got it. Let's watch Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg join a growing number of Democrats, including Senate Majority Leader Schumer, downplaying, even joking about this. And you're going to see former DNI John Ratcliffe under Trump. Watch this.
If you look at what the American transportation systems have faced in the last 2 or 3 years, partly because of the pandemic, we've faced issues from container shipping to airline cancellations. Now we got balloons.
The excuses that we were told why number one, the Chinese spy balloon, couldn't be shot down have now drifted away with numbers 2, 3, and 4. In other words, we were told, well, we can't shoot it down over Alaska. The first one was badly mismanaged, and I think some of this, the Biden administration is really scrambling and don't have an explanation or aren't giving explanations for what they're doing with different objects, is numbers 2, 3, and 4.
We got enormous intelligence information from surveilling the balloon as it went over the United States.
Didn't the Chinese get enormous intelligence as well?
Well, they could have been getting it anyway.
Okay, let's break this down, Congressman. Wow. China is spying on our transportation system. That's what Pete Buttigieg says. Senator Schumer says China could have been getting U.S. intelligence anyway, and he claims the Chinese Communist Party feels humiliated after all the information they stole about our national defense. That's pretty flippant and fatally naive. It's one of the worst. It's one of the worst security breaches in U.S. history, Congressman.
Liz, that really angered me, what Schumer said, because that is completely false and not true. And he's just really just engaging in spin and not in national security. That should have been shot down. The excuse that the Biden administration gave was we didn't want to hurt anybody on the ground. Well, the population density of Montana is 7 per square mile. And if you don't shoot it over the top 7 cities, it's about 2.5 per square mile, which is pretty much Alaska. So that was just a bold-faced lie. Now to try and downplay it, and as if the Chinese aren't some kind of threat, and if they're not probing, they are. Again, he's projecting weakness, and it makes me worry about Taiwan.
To what Congressman just said, Dr. Grant, if China decides to move on Taiwan and knows the U.S. will move to defend, guess what they would like to do? Surveillance on U.S. military bases. That balloon went over about nearly 24 U.S. military bases. So how can Senator Chuck Schumer be so flippant about this, Dr. Grant?
I agree with the Congressman. The spin is outrageous, and I'm offended by it. China has a lot of reasons to try to collect and conduct surveillance. We know they're doing that, and it just shows you China's global military ambitions. We have got to deter. And I'm telling you, if you're an American company and you've got a supply chain or a factory in China, you might want to think about other arrangements, because these balloons tell you how quickly things can change.
Got it. Congressman Fallon, Dr. Grant, thanks for joining us. That was a great conversation. It's good to have you on. We'll have you back on again soon.